everyone, this is Lisa Andrus, Psychic Medium, and this is your weekly reading for August 3rd through 9th, 2015. And this week, as you can see, I'm using the Archangel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. And the first thing I'm hearing before I get to the reading is relax. You must relax about your dreams about life, your anxiety about the future, your regret over the past, because all we have is the now. My dad always used to say to me, all we have is just today, because I used to be anxious and worry quite a bit when I still lived at home. And he would just say to me, Lisa, all we have is just today. So relax and know that your future is safe. Go with the flow. And instead of worrying about every detail of a day or your plans for the day, just relax and go with the flow. If you thought you were going to go someplace and you don't want to go, honor you. And know that even if you feel like you're letting others down, sometimes honoring you is the best thing you can do. I feel like they want me to use an example. The other night, I had to talk on the phone to my vet, who I just love my vet. I'm having a problem with one of my kitties, Simone, and so I'm talking to him. And he didn't call me until a half hour after their clinic closed, and I knew he'd had a long day. And I think because he and I have worked together a lot, and because of who I am, I just was like, oh, how are you doing? And he mentioned something about what a busy day that he had and needing to stop trying to be everything to everybody because he didn't take a break for lunch all day and things like that. And I remember afterwards I said a prayer for him that he would find what he needed to take care of himself. Because if you cannot take care of yourself, you're no good to others. Not as good to others. At some point you're going to break down. And then you get sick, and then your body commands that you take care of others. Because when you're bedridden, let's make no mistake, it's your body's way of saying, hello, remember me? You are a soul within a body, but you must treat your body like your temple. And when you don't, your body breaks down. When you give your body nothing but fear and worry and regret and anxiety, your body sometimes breaks down, because when we sock all the feelings away that we don't want to feel, sometimes things bubble up with our body, like disease, or even if it's a common cold. Know that you're safe and that life is not worth worrying about. If you have a moment where you feel like taking a nap, take a nap. If you have a moment where you don't know what to do, find something to distract yourself. If all you're doing is worrying, find something to distract yourself. Is it a good book? Is it a movie? Is it sex? Whatever it might be that can take your mind off of the moment, then maybe it's for your greatest and highest good. And it's funny, I haven't even started the reading yet, but I just feel that they want to keep channeling to you. Because they want to talk about relationships. And if you sense that a relationship is coming, whether you want it, whether you don't want it, but you sense that one might be there, or it hasn't appeared yet, you need to decide what you want. Because if you don't, then you might get something you don't want. And let's be honest, we've all had plenty of that, I would think, with life experience. And maybe it's time to think about what you want and to stop looking through clouded glasses and ignoring the things that are red flags and focusing on what you do want. Far better for you to decide this before you get involved, because once you get swept away in romantic feelings, it's really hard to get back to those either deal breakers or, get back to that once you get swept into the throes of passion, so to speak. All right, let's go ahead and look to see what the week ahead has in store. And your Monday, Tuesday card is Breathe. And it's Archangel Raphael. And it says, take several deep breaths and exhale slowly to awaken your energy and release old patterns. Now that's very interesting, because right before I started this reading, I was feeling a little hyper. And I just felt instinctively and maybe even heard breathe, and I took a few deep breaths. And when you're feeling, again, that stress or that fear, just take a few deep breaths, deep down in your chest all the way through to your belly, and know that it's safe to just take a few moments, to take a few deep breaths, that sometimes you need to step away. If you are having a moment, I hear relationships, and again, that theme came up just a moment ago. If you have a current relationship that you're unsure of, whether you've been fighting a lot lately or whatever that might be, and it may not be a romantic relationship, maybe it's work, maybe it's a friend, it's time to just breathe. And maybe that means taking a step back, to go stay at a friend's house for a night if you live together, whatever it might be. But when life seems overwhelming, sometimes you must just breathe, and taking inventory and just a few deep breaths will help to set you in a better direction and relax just a little. Okay, for the middle of the week here, we have compassion, and it's Archangel Zadkiel, and it says, soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. Okay, what I'm hearing is judgment and making judgment about others. The first thing that pops to me, I know that there's been quite a bit of controversy with the killing of Cecil the lion that's been in the news. And it was a Minnesota dentist that apparently is involved in that. And I don't know about you, but things about pets, man, I love pets. I volunteer to help them. I rescue them, and stuff like that upsets me. To say that I was upset about that whole situation is an understatement. But to remember, when people do things that make us mad, to try to soften our hearts with compassion. And it doesn't mean that you have to completely forgive, although that would be the best if you could do it. But even to try to soften your heart or to send the other person love, to know that perhaps anybody that would behave that way is lacking love or compassion from other people. Now, back to that certain situation that I was just talking about, what I've just prayed for is justice for all involved. And so whether it's somebody in your life that has wronged you or somebody you don't understand what the hell they're doing, try to find some compassion for the people that you disagree with, because let's be honest, Earth is a very heavy place to be. And giving your compassion and love to those that need it is very needed right now. I'm actually seeing like a children's hospital and somebody volunteering, and I feel like they want to say that praying is a wonderful thing, but you came down to earth with a human body, and if you're feeling called to volunteer and you think that you can't make a difference, you're wrong. You would benefit from at least looking into volunteering, and if it doesn't feel right, then move on and find someplace else. But I just see that there are children that are sick that would like to smile. And if you sing or play music or something, that you could give them that smile and stop thinking that you're not good enough or you can't make a difference, because you make a difference just in being here on earth and having that compassionate heart of yours warm and spread to others. You are wonderful children of God, and know that everything you're doing is with purpose. There's nothing in life that's without purpose. Whether you understand or don't understand, know that if you have a heartbeat, you have a purpose. And to remember within your compassionate heart that sometimes that's something you can extend to others. Okay? Now here's what we have for the weekend. And it's Counselor. And it's Archangel Azrael. And it says, you are a natural counselor and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. Now, the first thing that I actually got with this was a literal counselor, like a psychotherapist. So if you've been having relationship problems, which I feel like has been somewhat of a theme of this reading, maybe it's time to consult a third party, like a counselor. If you've been thinking of going to school to get a degree to work in psychotherapy or as a therapist, even though it might take a long time, 8 years or whatever, think to yourself, am I going to be on earth in 8 years? Probably. And if that's the case, I'm only going to get there one day at a time. So know that if you are already naturally counseling other people and you feel guided to that, this is something saying, yes, that is for you. Now, many of us feel like counselors when we're either giving readings or in our own spiritual practice, and that is no mistake. We are here to help others. I'm feeling guided to, I remember last year when I was in a class with John Holland and Janet Nohavik, who was an amazing medium. And she asked, who was doing medium readings, and was anybody also doing psychic readings in their practice? And I raised my hand. And what she said is, I do that too because the world is in crisis and we are human oracles. And there are people that need to be counseled. So there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong kind of reading. You can be a life purpose counselor. You can do whatever you want, but remember that if you have a gift to counsel others, whether it's through psychic readings, intuitive readings, healings, being a literal therapist, you need to share that gift with others because you make a difference in this world, and you need to know that because as I said, I feel like I've been throwing my hands up lately, like, what on earth is the purpose of this? Or what am I doing here? I mean, you're not alone. As humans, we often have these moments, but we may not know all the answers now, but I know that when I do readings or I do something like this and I'm helping someone else, it feels good to help somebody else. And that's part of my purpose if that makes me feel better. And that's part of your purpose if the thought of doing that makes you feel better. Just know that you're an amazing child of God and the universe. And I hear Mother Mary that is there for those of you that feel connected to Mother Mary. You have so many angels and ascended masters and deceased loved ones that are around you. If you feel like you're a medium, you are. Somebody just asked me, I had a dream of somebody that was deceased, and why do I keep having it? And what kind of books can I read on this? And I said to this person, you know what? The deceased oftentimes visit us in our dreams. And if you feel like researching this further, what you really should research is the fact that you may be a medium and maybe opening up your abilities as a medium. You know, there are so many people that are mediums that may never answer the call. And if you're starting to feel that intuitive hit or feel like you have a connection to being able to see or connect with people on the other side, it may be something that could potentially help others, and it might be something worth looking into. I wrote a book called Gifted, A Guide for Mediums, Psychics, and Intuitives, and it's for people like you, and there are plenty of other books and resources out there. Know that you have a life purpose that is not just one thing, it's many things, like being a mother, or being a friend, or being a counselor, or being a medium. It can be many things. It's all which delights you and brings you joy or brings you peace. Follow your path, one step at a time. It's not all going to happen today, perhaps, but it's all about co-creating with the universe and taking guided steps. I want you to know that I love each and every one of you very much. I hope you have a wonderful, amazing, blessed, abundant week. And I'll speak to you again next week.